everyone, so I thought I'd come on here today and do another woman to woman video, and it's something that I've been thinking about lately because it's just something I noticed, and I'm not sure why it's kind of taken me this long to notice it, but I kind of noticed a bit of a pattern in that I feel like the press sometimes will pick a body shape or a body type that's the most in at that moment, and then kind of we have the problem of body shaming in our society, which is something that's very unfortunate and that's very common in our society. But I feel like it's fueled a lot of the time by the papers and magazines deciding what's the in body for the moment. So for example, I remember a few years ago when I was much younger, the it body was the very, very, very skinny body. So it was when Keira Knightley was at the height of her fame, and we had Nicole Richie when she got very, very skinny, and Rachel Zoe and Misha Barton and those types of girls who were in the kind of public eye at that time and were known for being very, very skinny. It was kind of when Kate Moss was going out with Pete Doherty, and they were kind of in the papers a lot, and the very, very skinny type of look that was just very popular at that time. And I think it's nice in a way to kind of pick different shapes and celebrate them and look at how it's changed over years and years, but at the same time the problem with that is that when you don't have that shape, it can make you feel bad because you feel like that's the it shape to be, and what do you do if you're not that shape? And I know, for example, when I was younger and that was the in thing, that I really struggled because my body was nothing like that. Like, no matter how hard I try, or if I never ate again, my body would just not be like that very, very skinny, kind of no hips, no boobs, just very, very slender type of body. It couldn't be that if it wanted to, and I really did want it to be like that. And I feel like nowadays it's changed a little bit, and you could look at it in a positive way, because I know around the time with Nicole Richie and people like that, that there was a lot of speculation going on whether or not they were healthy and whether or not they did have a bit of an eating disorder and that kind of thing. I'm not, saying that they did or anything, so don't jump down my throat and or anything like that. But I think now it's very much a kind of curvy accepting society, which is great if you are curvy, but if you are not, that doesn't make you feel that great. So we have celebrities, I think, that have kind of helped it along the way, like Beyonce and J-Lo, and then the kind of more exaggerated ones, I suppose, would be people like Nicki Minaj. And warning, take cover if you hate Kim Kardashian, because I'm gonna say Kim Kardashian, and you're gonna laugh at me in videos that I keep saying that, but just every single time I mention her, it can be like over the most trivial thing. I get hate comments, and like people send them to my inbox and things. It's bizarre. It's a really kind of odd thing that goes on the internet that I just find very amusing. Not amusing as in like I find it funny that people hate her. I get why people don't like her, but just like that people are that interested in it. It's just a bit bizarre. But those types of bodies are kind of very celebrated, and we're not going to get into a whole, I think this body's nice, I don't like this body, I think this body's fat, I think this body looks anorexic. Any comments like that on this video, I'm warning you now, will be deleted. Anything like that, because this is not the place for it. This is not what this video is about whatsoever. But it's interesting how the press kind of decide to pick a type of body, and that'll be the it body for a few years, and then we'll move on to something else, and it makes people feel excluded, because if you are a young girl and if you are very impressionable, you end up looking at those pictures thinking, I don't look like that. But at the same time, if it is the type of body that you have, it can make you feel better. Like people always say to me, like, oh, why do you think Kim Kardashian looks nice and that kind of thing? And part of it is because I have to, because part of it is I haven't got that slender body. I haven't got that body that looks amazing in clothes and that kind of thing. I've got the kind of curvier body. So I can kind of look at someone like that and find it inspiring that they are, on the cover of Vogue magazine, for example, and still being a bit thicker. And I know that, even people like that work tremendously hard on their bodies to look like that. But it can be very uplifting because it makes you feel like you're not excluded. And I I can't decide whether or not I think it's a good idea or not, because at the same time you have, it makes people feel inspired, but it can also make people feel bad. And like I said, when that really slim body was in, that was something that made me feel bad. And I used to kind of look at magazines and websites and things, and they were so slim, and they would, you know, to a point where some of them looked like they had a bit of a problem. Nicole Richie, I remember at some point, did look like she was very unhealthy. She looks amazing now, but kind of, I can't remember what year this would have been, but like years ago. And you know, we have women like Kate Upton, for example, now, but it's still, you know, a very specific body, because let's not kid anyone, me in a bikini versus Kim Kardashian in a bikini, there's no comparison. You know, they've still got amazing bodies and proportionate bodies and whatever you want to call it. And cue someone to comment that Kim Kardashian and Nicki Minaj have got disproportionate bums, but whatever, you know what I mean. They've still got amazing bodies, and it's still not that realistic. Just like I think, you know, every slim girl doesn't look like Keira Knightley in clothes, because it's just a different type of body with most people. And the reason that, you know, these women have to work so hard on their physiques is because that's how they earn a living. I know I've kind of got a weird patch here, I can see it in the viewfinder. I had a mosquito bite or some sort of bite, and I kept itching it, and I've made it go really red and horrible now, so let's ignore it. I haven't got some weird tropical disease or anything. But I think in an ideal world, if we all had the responsibility to look at the kind of things that are portrayed in the press and think, you know, okay, this is the body du jour, and it doesn't mean that my body is bad. But when you're much younger, and with much younger girls, they don't necessarily know how to do that, and it's really difficult to feel kind of like great about your body when you're younger anyway. And then you're seeing this and you're comparing it, and you're thinking, well, you know, that's the it body, that's the body that's the most beautiful, that's the body that's most desirable. That's not what my body's like at all. But I do think it's nice to kind of find celebrities that have a similar shape to you, and kind of not compare yourself to them, but look at their bodies and look at how they dress, and just kind of make yourself feel a little bit better, because it's nice, you know. I just find it a bit inspiring sometimes. And I kind of think this video doesn't necessarily have a point. I just want to kind of talk to you about the topic, and this is, you know, what these videos are for. This is what we do here, right? We kind of just talk about our opinions on these types of things. And it's very much something that I think about a lot and notice a lot, and something that I notice that other people kind of talk about a lot. And it's just very interesting to me how kind of things change. And even if you look at, you know, years and years ago, the type of body that was in fashion versus in the 60s versus the type of body that was more fashionable in the 50s type of thing. It's just a very interesting thing to see how it changes. But we have to really remember that just because that's the in body to have doesn't mean that that's the best body. It doesn't mean that that's the most amazing body. It means that it's just the body that's kind of in at that time. But every single shape is amazing, and every single shape has its good points and has its bad points. And it's also down to personal preference. Just like, you know, some people prefer blondes, some people prefer brunettes. It's just how it is. It's like, I prefer brunettes. That's probably because I'm a brunette and I find it more relatable. It's just how it goes, and it's something that I think can be very damaging if you are not equipped with the tools to remind yourself of that. So yeah, I am going to love you and leave you now, because I think this video was slightly incoherent. But these videos tend to be, because it's just kind of my opinions. I haven't particularly got a point I'm trying to make in this video. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, please don't make it, well, I like this body and I don't like this body, and this body's ugly and this body's fat and whatever. Don't make it into that, because that's not what this is about. And I will just delete those comments, because I don't want any of that kind of negativity surrounding my video. But I hope you'll have a fantastic day and a great week, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.